point, I was like, I already, we had the red harvesters. Why do I need a set of yellow harvesters that do precisely the same thing? And so I didn't actually buy that one because that wasn't a... they usually don't have a last year season pass. Then we got the blue forestry equipment. Rotney, I think. And again, I didn't use that. I didn't see the point. I don't do a lot of forestry. When I do forestry, I tend to do amateur forestry. I chainsaw, chop the logs to length, and use a wheel loader or front loader to load the logs on a truck. I'm not using the big forestry chopping equipment. So I didn't see the point in buying the Rotney kit when, I'm almost never going to use that. I think there's the possibility that if I ever get back to streaming on a weekday night, that maybe one of my weekday farms series could be a logging farm, but that's a long ways off. So horse aggravation stuff I like. The horse aggravation stuff is kind of an interesting series in that it's very highly detailed equipment. I do like that. It makes the pack absolutely awesome. It's also generally free, which can't argue with that either. And it's a good size. The weeder we're using here, I think I've got a cedar. But it's a good pack. I'm not sure if we're going to see it in Farm Sim 25. I really need to do a cross-reference between what we get in the horse aggravation pack and what the base equipment is in Farm Sim 25. And the only reason I go into Farm Sim 25 is to check on the new mods. And so it's not really something I've taken a deep dive into to see, it's included, or we don't seem to have it, so maybe we'll get it again. But then, the whole reason for this conversation, so I'm not getting Season 1 Game Pass, because quite frankly, there's always at least one more DLC pack that I'm pretty much never going to use. So while there is savings to be made buying the Season 1 or the Season Pass, it's only a saving if you use everything. And if you don't use everything, but you do buy the Platinum DLC and one or two of the mid-year DLCs, it's cheaper just to buy them on their own. And if they have a 10% discount, because if you order early, then I'll take advantage of that. But I am not buying the Season Pass because I don't think, for me, it's worth it. So that's the state of play, and this first pack, the Nexat, I mean, it's an incredible piece of kit. You know, there's videos out on YouTube demonstrating it in use, and it's very impressive, but not really for a small farm. Yeah, Jeremy Clarkson would never use one. He doesn't need one. The Old Stream Farm, yeah, one of my favourite maps. Yeah, it's not big enough. Or, yeah, that piece of equipment is too big for the farm to make sense. So, you know, it's impressive, but not something I would play with. If I played a multiplayer game, and it would be somebody else's multiplayer game, and I really wanted to join it, and they were using the Nexat, then yeah, okay. But it would be, that would be a big, do I really want this? Do I really want to join my friends playing? Don't know. And then we also got some new pieces of equipment for Farm Sim 25. Was it the Valtra N and John Deere R6? 6R? Something like that. Which obviously, yep, like those, gonna have them. And I didn't have to pay for them. So that's good. And we're now actually starting to see some maps coming out. So I am going to have to pay attention to what maps are available, and do I want to pick one now? Because obviously we are on episode 99. We do have productions coming out of the bakery, and so I think sometime soon I am going to want to start thinking about what I want my next series to be, what the map is and all the rest of it. Okay, I don't think, actually, let's break the GPS, let's go round the edge of the field. We are spraying here, so it does look like this stuff, whatever it is it maize? Might be maize. Does need blah blah blah, corn, yeah, maize. Okay, so corn does need a lot of fertilizer, so we're going to drain the tank here. We're down to 72% of load, and I think that's mostly because of the size of that sorghum field, not because of the amount of boost. This is going to take some serious amounts of. We're going 123. This field is. I could do this on a 90. Let's do that. Set a 90. Good. But we'll keep on the headland for now. There's that little tractor over there doing the weeding. So I'm hoping our weeding tractor's going to take about 15 minutes to finish. And it's going to do the headlands last, so we might have a little bit of a delay before we move on to the next field. goodness, this is taking a lot. But we already know that the at least half the sunflower field might be very close to being where I need it to be. So yeah, today I need to go fetch stuff from the from a couple of home improvement stores. But once that's done, I guess I'll probably be heading back down to the basement to finish off what I'm doing down there, at least to a certain point. I don't have a big plan for work this weekend. And then this week I will be starting out. I've got so I've got a couple of boards for the big station. I haven't screwed those in because I ran out of angle brackets to mount them to the frame. But also, I'm not exactly sure where they need to be positioned. So I'll be doing them carefully. And then, but yeah, as I said, I don't have any brackets and I don't know the exact position for them. And that's forward and back on the board. Do I need them closer to the front or do I need them closer to the back? So we need to figure all that out. I think 90 degrees is not the greatest of angles by the looks of it. And then so the main goal for this coming week, I think, is to get everything positioned exactly where I want it. And then next time I can start laying foam board and once the foam board's in place I can start laying track. Then things get interesting. I'm not even sure I'm going to bother with the GPS on this field. We're really not. We're able to see quite nicely where we've been by the little map. Should I call it a map? Let's call it the little display in the cab that's superimposed on the UI to the bottom left. But I can see where I need to apply. It's things like the sunflowers or the sorghum, which we were so close to ideal on those. I really didn't, it was very difficult to tell the difference. So This maize, obviously, lots of nitrogen requirement, and so we get to see exactly where I've been without having to worry about what's the word for it? What's the texture like on the dirt? Because I can't really see the dirt. And we missed a bit. Okay. Our weeder is still 10 minutes from finishing. Okay. This field is nice and done. And done. And the last bit. Boop, boop, boop. And fold. So, I turn off the GPS. Still got a lot of diesel, we're down to 28%. I do not know how much I'm going to need in here. I'll take a little trip over there. And that is borderline. Okay. What is that crop? Sunflowers. Okay, yeah, that's sunflowers. So, we've probably got enough fertilizer in that. Let us get some more money. On the headland yet? Might be headland time on that. So just slightly less than 10 minutes. The weeder has now got to go around all of the fields we've just finished. And the nice thing is because this is healed back, I can definitely make these corners as we travel up and down to the sugar mill. So we got $500,000 in the bank, which is nice. I don't need to buy any other productions. For the most part, I think all of our equipment, we have sufficient equipment to do everything we need to for now. Might need more later, or we might need to replace some of our older kit because it's all older, with some showroom new vehicles. So that'll be good. Well, definitely got a couple of 100,000 litres of sugar and yeast, which I really don't need. Though I don't necessarily want to sell all the yeast, because we've only got 2 very small fields of sugar beets next year. So this factory will be dormant for most of next year, but the production is something else. So let's do that. And left shift R. So I found out how to fill this immediately. As soon as it starts spawning, you press the shift R and it will just fill up with whatever it's unloading from the place. So that worked. And this lot all needs to go down to exports. So we will make our way down there in the cab. Anyway, so what is the real time? The real time is 9:30. So what, we've been going for a little under an hour, 47 minutes. I was a little bit late starting this morning. I was a little bit late waking up this morning. But probably needed it because I was up till about 10 o'clock in the basement trying to get all of the baseboard laying done. I kind of beginning of February I set the goal that all of the wood would be laid and screwed in and attached and, you know, just all ready to work on, or, you know, for the next stage. And I didn't quite make it. Obviously all of the bits of wood are attached to the other bits of wood that they need to be attached to. They're just not screwed into the frame. So that's like probably a 30-minute job to screw everything in and get it all firmly attached. So hopefully from next week I can start cutting foam board and gluing that down to the bits of wood. That will that's one of the reasons why I haven't worried about where the screws are or how. Oh, that's unfortunate. I haven't worried too much about where the how even the joins between the boards are, because the track is not going to be laid on those joins, and since I'm putting foam board on, I'm going to make sure that the breaks in, you know, where the next foam board starts doesn't coincide with where the the wood underneath split, you know, is separate sections. So I should be able to come out with a fairly smooth surface, and once that's all in place, as I said, we can start looking at laying track. I do know there's a website that sells I can't remember what he calls it. They're basically you can buy them in plastic or wood, and you put them between the tracks to make sure that your curves are uniform. And there's a guy in Canada who sells those, and he sells them to a lot more different radii than a lot of the production people. You know, people who make track, they have standard radius for their switches and their set track, what they call set track, which is basically track that's already made to measure. And so they frequently sell these templates that slot between the two rails in the track to form those specific radii. So that if you decide to use flex track, you can you can match the production set track stuff. Now flex track is just it's generally considered a little bit better because if you're using the set track, the corners are very sharp. You know, you buy a curved piece or you buy a straight piece, but you go straight from a straight into a curve, which is not particularly realistic and can visually make it look a bit weird when a train goes round a bend. If you use flex track, then what ends up happening is you have a gentle what's the word for it? I can't remember what the word is. It's where you go from straight into a sharp bend. You don't